Hey everybody, it's Professor Malat. I wanted to take a few minutes to go over my grading policy. I have adopted what's called contract grading, and this is something I will have in both my in-person classes. So you'll see there's a slight difference in the wording with some of the things that are in the grading contract. Here for the in-person classes, there is a participation and attendance um, aspect, but in my online classes, of course, the wording is a little bit different. So I do want to go through this point by point, and I will talk about participation first. So the contract grading system is a little bit different. It's you kind of quote unquote choose your grade that you want to achieve and complete the necessary labor that's required. So if you do all of the things that are outlined here in the face-to-face or in the online sections of my classes, both prep composition and English 1001, um, then you are guaranteed a B in the course if you fulfill all of the following. So for the face-to-face people, participation is a big deal. This means that you'll agree to fully participate in at least 84% of our scheduled class sessions. That means going to 22 out of the 27 meetings that we have throughout the semester. You will also participate in the activities and the assignments that we do in class. So that means that you will need to be present in class, as most of those activities can't be done before or after class and will often require your colleagues to complete, not compete. So you can't miss more than 5 class sessions for whatever reason. Usually attendance in class equates to participation. But for those of you who are in the online classes for English 1001 and English 099, those are asynchronous online classes. So participation actually equates to regularly logging into the Canvas course page, engaging with class content, readings, discussions, videos, so on and so forth, and submitting assignments. I can see how frequently you log into Canvas, so I will know if you are participating on a weekly basis. You're expected to log in to Canvas and engage at least twice a week. So that means logging in early in the week to see what things you need to complete for the week, and then at the end of the week when you are submitting. But getting into a daily habit would be a really good practice to adopt. So that's participation for in person and face to face. Again, for my in-person class, it also means that you will agree to come to class on time or early. Walking into class late 1 to 2 times in a semester isn't a problem, but if it is a chronic problem, it just means that you probably have a time management issue, and that's something that we will need to discuss because lateness kind of shows that you're not really caring all that much. If it's something that's beyond your control, then we need to have a discussion to figure out and maybe brainstorm some solutions for you. So I think the rest of the points are the same for both the online and in-person classes. So timeliness, that means you agree to meet due dates and writing criteria for all of your major assignments. Anything late or incomplete, that's defined as any work or document due that is turned in after the due date or the time, but within 48 hours of the deadline, right? Missed work, if you turn late work in after that 48 hours of stipulated time, then it will be considered missed work, which is a more serious mark against the grading contract. That just means that, again, it could be a time management issue, or it could just mean that you don't really care. You're not willing to put in the work to make sure that your assignments are done on time. Short assignments. You agree to complete all informal, low stakes writing assignments, things like journal writing, quizzes, any in class work that you might do, discussion board writing, that kind of thing. Peer work, you agree to give thoughtful peer feedback in workshops and work faithfully with your group on other collaborative tasks, things like sharing papers, commenting on drafts, peer editing, online discussion boards, answering peer questions, that kind of thing. For longer assignments, you agree to sustain effort and investment on each draft of all papers. So don't blow off the rough drafts, which will be submitted complete, on time, and proofread and edited to the best of your ability. So of course, for students who are in English 099 prep composition, that might mean you still have some things to learn about editing and proofreading. That's not a problem. We're working on that. We're trying to get you up to the level so that you're ready for English 1001. But for those of you in English 1001, it's expected that you know how to proofread and edit your drafts, right? As far as revisions are concerned, you agree to make substantive revisions when the assignment is to revise, extending or changing the thinking or organization, and not just editing or touching up unless I have otherwise said so. Sometimes I have students who write nearly perfect drafts, right? There might be a couple of little editing problems, but there's really no need for revision. When I provide feedback for you on your draft, I will usually let you know that no revision is necessary, but most of the time it is necessary to change the thinking or change the organization of paragraphs or sentences, not just fixing up editing problems. The ninth point here, proofreading and editing, you agree to copy, edit all final revisions of main assignments until they conform to the conventions of edited revised English. So again, part of the feedback that I give to you, especially for the English 099 students, the prep comp students, I will give you feedback on how to edit your paper. I will point out those editing mistakes because that is a really great way to learn in context more about grammar, punctuation, and spelling. Those of you who are in 1001, I am not your copy editor. I expect you to do that yourself. I know that some of you might be kind of in between, might not be the strongest students writing wise, but you're strong enough to get into and through English 1001. And that's something that I will judge in my feedback. But you're expected to proofread and edit, especially if I've pointed it out to you. And lastly, there is a point here about receiving help. You agree to attend conferences with either me or a writing center tutor to discuss drafts when recommended. So oftentimes, if I read a draft and I see that it's really problematic and the student could use more in-depth help, I will usually recommend either conferencing with me, schedule an office hour, and we can either meet in person or over Zoom, or schedule time with a writing center tutor. This is especially the case for students in English 099, prep composition students. The writing center tutors are there to help you. They are a very professional staff. They want to help, and it's free. So why not take advantage of that extra help? All you need to do is contact somebody there, schedule a time. There's a way to do it. And if you read through the syllabus, I actually have instructions for that. So you earn the grade of B entirely on the basis of what you do, the amount of effort that you put forth, and your participation. The grade of B does not derive from my judgment about the quality of your writing. However, grades higher than B do rest on my judgment of writing quality. To earn higher grades, you must contribute meaningfully to class discussions and produce writing that I judge to be exceptionally high quality. And I do have a rubric. It's a departmental rubric that is here below that tells you the differences between A, B, C, and non-proficient or NP grades, excuse me. Please know that each assignment will be marked on a complete or incomplete basis. I will not be assigning a letter grade or a point number to it. It is complete and incomplete, and most of the assignments, especially the longer writing assignments, will have extensive rubrics of the things that I expect to be done for an assignment. You will receive a progress assessment after the completion of each unit prior to the last date for withdrawal, so you're aware of how you're doing in the course, and if you need to withdraw from the course, you can do so. And then, of course, the proviso here at the end: by staying in the course and attending class, you agree to all the above terms, and I agree to keep track of the above details responsibly and enforce them democratically. So really, the two simplest rules to be successful in my classes, the first is to show up. Showing up either in person, or if you're in an online class, logging in frequently and engaging with the material. Show up, right? Rule number one. Second one, do the work. Number two, if you do the work, chances are really good that you will pass my class. You might pass with a C or a C minus, or you might pass with an A or an A plus. It's really up to you. If you show up and you do the work, you put in the effort, you will pass the class. So here is the grading rubric. You can read through that yourself. I'm not going through it point by point, and you can also look at the grading scale. It is important to let students know that it is our departmental university policy that for prep composition and English composition, so 099 and 1001, you need to earn a minimum of C minus. So that's 70% or above. If you earn a grade below a C minus, 69% or below for the course, you will receive a grade of NP, which is non-proficient. That does not affect your GPA or financial aid, but it does mean that you have to take the class again. When you do take the class again, that NP will be replaced with the grade you earn in the class the second time around. And it's important to note, you must submit all formal essay assignments to be eligible for that NP grade. If you just disappear from class, you ghost, or you don't complete the work, you will receive a grade of UW, which is unofficial withdrawal, and that affects your grade the same way as an F would, and that can affect financial aid or scholarships. So if you fail to submit any of the formal essay assignments for the course, that will result in a UW. You can withdraw up to a certain time or drop the class in Catalyst according to the university dates and deadlines. If you miss the deadline, you will need to file an add drop form with me. Bear in mind that withdrawal could affect your full-time status and financial aid. So it's really not something to take lightly, like, oh, I can just withdraw. It might affect your financial aid, and that's not good. Incompletes are given only in special circumstances. I have never given a student an incomplete. I've given plenty of UWs/Fs for students who have just kind of ghosted at some point in the semester. Incompletes are for special circumstances when illness or other personal emergencies have prevented a student from completing a small portion of the course requirements. Typically, you have to have done fairly well in about 70% of the course, and then you would have to initiate a contract, an incomplete contract that would be agreed upon by both me and you as a student, and it's something that you sign. So those are filed in the department office. As I said before, I've never done an incomplete for a student, so I really don't know how to do it, but I know that there's information online. So that is the whole thing about grading. So show up, do the work, and you're guaranteed a B in the course, okay? If you have any questions about that, please let me know. We will talk more about it in class. But but I wanted to record this video for those of you, especially in the online sections of my courses, so that you understand what's expected with this grading contract. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.